one of the best ways to think about the subject line is to think about different things that are going on. So I like to think about like current events, seasonal. So it could be like holidays, okay? Something crazy, and I'll get into what that means. What else? Most of it'll be around this or something that happened to you. Okay, so what do I mean about current events? So the other day, for example, so the Travis Scott thing. Okay, so what you need to decide is how aggressive you want to be, because certain things could really make people upset, right? Depending on what happened. But you could say like, why Travis Scott isn't to blame for the 9 deaths. Okay, that's like super aggressive. So you may not want to do that, but you could at least say like why Travis Scott isn't to blame. Okay, you could say something like why Kim Kardashian always gets divorced. Okay, you could say don't, like something I could say is I missed all my meetings. Okay, so like I had this thing happen in Puerto Rico today where this is the first time I haven't lived in quote unquote America. And so I got up today and I'm at the gym and all this stuff, and it's 3:30 in the freaking morning. And I'm like messaging my team, like, where the hell are you guys? Like, where are you? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And everyone's like, bro, like, relax. Like it's 8:30. And I was like, what? That's how I messed up with you guys today, right? Sebastian, you're asking about, or I'll get into cold emailing at the end, Sebastian, if you want. This is more like warm email, but I'll get into that. So for example, I could put like, I missed all my meetings. And then I can go into the email with that. I could do something like, like why, you can say why COVID actually cures you. Now, the thing is, you guys are going, well, what does this have to do with my business? The thing is, you can almost always tie it back to your business, and I'll write out an email live so you guys can see how I do this. It's not going to be perfect because when I'm like on the spot, but I'll show you how I do it. So like these are like subject lines that you could immediately list out, and you could start, you could start from there. But the biggest thing is you want to put stuff out that people it's like clickbait. You really do want these to be clickbait, because if they don't pull people in, they're not going to open it, right? Other stuff you can do is it can be as simple as like, hey, first name, or it could just be literally first name, because they're like, oh, like it's like Rachel, and she sees that in her email, it's the subject line like Rachel Robinson. It's like, oh, like I click on those because I'm like, oh wait, is that like actually for me, or like what is that? Now the content still has to be good, but remember, you can have the best content on earth, right? It's just like an ad, but if they don't know you exist, it doesn't matter. Okay. So usually I'll do it around like current events, something with holidays, like, Thanksgiving's coming up, like how I lose weight during Thanksgiving, whatever. Or like, oh, here's something that happened to me. How I made 150K in one day. Or I'll say this, with one email. You guys would open that. Okay. And I'll do a live on that. We actually essentially made about $150,000 from one offer, one email. And I'm gonna do a training all about that. Okay. So you guys kind of get the point. It's like, I don't like just like, oh, I have to have it all premeditated. You just want to think of something that's very catchy and eye-opening, and then you can pretty much take that and work it all the way around that. Okay, so let's say for example, like this one is more business related, but let's say like, let's do like this one. Okay, so let's pretend the subject line that we're going to use is why Travis Scott can't be blamed. So you guys can see like a really weird subject line and how I can still make it around my business. Okay. So you'll go like this. I'd start like this, like, Did you hear about what happened on Saturday? It was absolutely tragic, you know. It was actually tragic. Over 9 people, I think it was like 9. I'm just going off what I know. I haven't looked too much into it. Over 9 people died at the, I think it was at the Astro World event with Travis Scott. Okay, Travis Scott's a famous rapper, for you guys who don't know. What's even more sad is the fact it could have been avoided. Hours before, the police told Travis to keep things under control and how to make sure nothing happened. Okay. And you say like, sort of like foolproof game plan. Sadly, although he knew what not to do, okay, and what to do, he decided not to follow those instructions, and over 9 people died and dozens more were injured. This is, now I'm not saying this is comparable to what happened at, or here, I'll do this. Probably, there you go. Sadly, first name, you are doing the exact same thing and are an actual hypocrite. Now I go for more like wow factor. Okay, you don't have to be this aggressive, but like I personally want to, because if someone's on my email list and they just keep reading my emails, like I'm trying to get them to like make a decision or unsubscribe. Like I really am just like, yo, buy my stuff or unsub. So something else you could do here is like another subject line, just based off what I wrote there, is like, for, you know, first, like here's another one. You could go first name, you're a hypocrite. Okay, like people, like this type of stuff will get people to open most of the time because it's super bold. You don't always have to be, but it's very clickbaity, and it's like that's really, it's kind of like a YouTube title. You need it to be compelling enough for someone to click. Okay, so you start off, whatever your subject line is, you're kind of like, hey, you know, you start talking about it. 9 people died hours before, although he knew what to do. Sadly, you're doing the same thing. You're an actual hypocrite. Now, I'm not saying, and then I go here. So I'm not saying what happened. Now, I'm not saying this is compared to what happened at Travis Scott event, but think about it. Each and every day, I write you emails. And each and every day, you change nothing. I give you the plan, and you ignore it. Okay. And this is like, I'm just going quick because I don't want to just like take 30 minutes to write this email. And you ignore it. And then you can be like, kind of like Travis Scott ignores police. You see, all this can be avoided. You see, all this can be avoided just by following the right path. But no one can make you do it. I feel like that's where you're at. You keep opening all my emails and watch, you know, and see the results of my clients and see what I say, yet you do nothing. Why? You know, first name. Does something tragic, you know, tragic have to happen before you'll actually, oh, someone's coming in. Does something have to happen before you'll actually do something? Right? Why does it have to be this way? Do you really want to wait until your mom has cancer and you can't afford to help her? Okay, so like a lot, this stuff's pretty aggressive, but it gets people off the fence or on the fence, guys. Like and that's why I write this way. You don't have to be this aggressive, but the more an email, the more compelling, the more wow factor it's gonna get. It's gonna get either people are gonna read this and get really pissed, or they're gonna read it and like, wow, like he's right, right? And that's why I like to do it. Okay. Do you really want your kids struggle, pain, for school because you can't help them, right? Okay, so like pain, pain, pain. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. The game of money, it's easy. So easy, in fact, that my average, you know, client makes XYZ amount. Over 80% of them, blah, blah, blah. Now, were they scared? Sure. I'm sure you are too, right? But end of the day, reading emails, reading email after email isn't going to get it done. You have to change. You have to listen to authority, aka me, because I know how to go about this. I know how you can get from where you are to where you want to be. But I need you. Okay. But I need you to listen. Will you? If so, you know, reply back, help, and I'll see what I can do to help. Panic. Okay, whatever. So that's kind of like, that's kind of how to think about it, because the first thing I do is I think of a subject line and then I write the email. Okay, so I don't write an email and then think of a subject line. I like to think of like what's going on today in society, right? That I can go about writing, you know, writing about that is compelling. And a lot of times you want to do stuff like, it could be stuff in your life. It could be stuff like that just happened. Like when the presidential election was going on, it was like easily you could get people mad by saying like why Trump's the best, or you say like why Obama's the best, or why Biden will win, or whatever, right? It gets like you almost want to like say something that it's like it's gonna get people to like open it and they're either gonna love it or they're gonna get mad, right? So like if I wrote this, I bet like someone would be like, I can't believe you're joking about death, like you shouldn't like write about that stuff. Someone else would be like, dude, like I totally relate to that, because like I do read your emails every day, and like I always read it, but I never signed up for your program, and like I'm really scared to sign up, and like this pushed me over the edge. The other thing too is you guys don't always have to push to a link. You can always like just get replies, and then, or you could say, if so, reply back with your phone number and I'll give you a call. And literally you set up, it's a setter call, right? For anyone who hasn't done that, it's just like you call him, you're like, hey, is this John? Hey, John, what's up? This is Tanner. I saw you reply to my email. You got 15 minutes? Yeah, cool, dude. Like, so if you're cool with it, I just want to walk through your situation and see if I can help you. And then if I can, we'll set up a second call that's going to go through more stuff. Does that sound fair? Yeah, it sounds fair. Great. there's a million ways to go about this, but if like guys, if you build your whole business around one-time touches, so like you try one time and that's it, you're not gonna maximize your business. Like my sales reps are constantly following up, we're constantly sending emails, we're doing events, we're like doing many chat blasts, we do new offers, we do retargeting, like we're thinking of like every single thing under the sun that we can think of to try to get results, right? So in terms of emails, if you guys like the standard should be 3 emails a week, okay? So the standard should be at least like minimum 3 emails a week to your list, okay? Now, as your list gets bigger, I would go to every day, right? But most of you guys, like you don't have massive lists. You maybe only have like a couple hundred people or 1,000. So 3 emails a week is like ample. But the goal is to push them back to your program or to push them to like a set call or to push them to a sales call or whatever. But there's a million different ways to do it. But in terms of like learning how to write, some of this will come more naturally to you as you practice. Like, just keep in mind, you don't have to be good at everything right off the bat. Like I've built these skills over a long period of time, and I've gotten better and better and better and better. And so you guys may see me do this. You're like, wow, like he bangs this out so fast. But I start off with a subject line that I think is compelling. So like that just happened, or like I could say why Travis Scott should go to prison. Okay, like sometimes I don't even like, I'm not even saying he should go to prison. Like I don't personally think that. I think he's kind of a ding dong for how he handled his event. But like you're just trying to get stuff that's going to get people like, oh, like whoa, or like I could even say something else. Say, like I could say Travis Scott is going to prison, right? Even more compelling. This one almost always works. This one almost always works. If you haven't done that, I would use it like maybe once a month, every other month. This definitely will work. So like we did an offer the other day that was a done for you ads offer. And I'll do a live on that, but like, it was like freaking ridiculous. And so like, obviously people be like, holy crap, like how do you do that? Like this one, like why COVID actually cures you, or like why COVID actually makes you healthy. Right? That could be something for trainers, and you could do a spin on that. And then as I go into it, you just start off by talking about the actual thing. So like, hey, did you hear what happened? It was really sad. Like a bunch of people died. Hours before, police told, and I'm building this up by saying, hey, so police told him like how to avoid this, and he didn't listen, and look what happened. And then I relate it to business. And I'm like, so look, you're doing the same thing. And I almost always relate it back to the reader. I'm like, you're doing this exact same thing. Like this is the same situation you're in, or I'll relate it to their situation. And then I go into my pitch where it's like, now I'm not saying this is the same as Travis, but each and every day I write you emails and you change nothing. I give you a game plan and you ignore me. And you can see, you could actually avoid all this just by doing what you're told. I feel like that's where you're at. Okay, why? Does something bad have to happen? Do you really? And then I list bad things. Do you have to wait for this and this? So here's the deal. The game of money is easy. In fact, my average, and then you can do some proof, right? Why are there, and they're scared, right? They're scared to do it, but end of the day, reading the email isn't going to get it done. You have to change. You have to do this. So will you reply back? And then they'll reply back. And what I would probably say, if so, reply back with your phone number, and I'll see what I can do to help over a 10-minute call. No sales pitch. Promise. LOL. Tanner. Whatever. And like, guys, you'll get people like you, if you say something like this, people will respond. They will 100% respond. And then you just get on the call and you qualify them, and then you can push them to a sales call. Or, you know, sometimes you can put your sales link, like, hey, book a call. Here's my link. Right? Or, you know, whatever you're pitching, right? Or, hey, I have a Facebook group. Join my group. I go over stuff like this all the time. And then they start coming to your group and you lead gen them from the group. Like you just mix it up. But if like I was going to give you a structure for what to do, it's like, right? So crazy, we'll say like, I'll say compelling, not crazy. Compelling subject line. Okay. And I do it over like current events, stuff in your life. Okay. So, and like do big stuff like, you know, if your dad died, if like you got really sick, if you've been divorced, if you became broke, if you were homeless, like stuff that's like compelling, because a lot of times people, they don't want to hear how you're winning. They want to hear how you're losing. Okay. I have way more people who will comment on a post where I'm like, hey, like something really bad happened yesterday versus like, hey, I made $1 million yesterday. Because like people will rather see you lose than win. They don't like, nobody likes a winner for the most part. That's why like Tom Brady, like everyone hates Tom Brady, but he's like the freaking GOAT. He's like, except me, like I love Tom Brady because he's a freaking winner, right? But everyone's like, oh, Tom Brady sucks. Like Tom Brady, you know, it's like, oh, he sucks. Like, bro, he's a freaking G, right? But you see, like, you don't see the teams that suck, like Cleveland. Like nobody's like mad at Cleveland because like they suck. They're like, oh, poor Cleveland. Like they're so that's what you want to do. Okay, so like stuff in your life, and then from here, right? You could do what else? Like, you know, presidential stuff, you know, that goes back to like current events kind of, you know, tragedies, you know, seasonal stuff. So Christmas, whatever. Okay. But a lot of times it's going to be current events or stuff in your life. Like, so if you look at the subject lines I wrote, like I missed all my meetings. I missed all my meetings this morning. Like, that's why you guys are all here now instead of an hour ago. Or why Kim Kardashian always gets divorced, or, you know, Travis Scott is going to prison, etc. So anyways, hopefully that helps. And then like a structure after that is like, one, talk about the event, relate it back to the person or their situation. Okay. Right. Then talk, you know, so relate that back to them, and then relate, we'll do this. Let me go here. Back to your program. So kind of like it, hey, so did you hear about Travis Scott? He didn't listen to police. It could have been avoided. That's kind of like you right now. Because like I tell you what to do every day and you don't do it, right? What will happen if they don't listen? Okay. And then call to action. That's really it in every single email I write. So I'll talk about it. I'll relate it back to them and their situation in my program. And then I'll talk about, you know, what will happen. You can even here do results, you know, results of clients. Okay. So that's kind of what you're doing, but it's weird because like I tell you what to do every day and you don't listen, and my average client gets these results. Doesn't really make sense. Do you really want to wait until these bad things happen? I didn't think so. So if you're willing to listen, click below, That's literally the formula. And that's all you got to do. I mean, that's literally it. So I don't know if anyone has questions, but yeah, guys, like writing emails is very important. You only have to do a couple a week and you'll get better at copywriting. Like you'll get better at sales. It's like anything. A lot of you guys, like, just don't be scared to do stuff. Cause like, here's like a rule of thumb I use for life. Is it going to hurt you to write 3 emails a week? The answer is no. Could it help you if you write 3 emails a week? The answer is yes. So do those things. Okay. Could it hurt you if you cheat on your wife? Yeah, it could. Will it hurt you if you don't cheat on your wife? No, it won't. Right. So that's usually that's how you can know if you're making a decent decision. Okay. If I send out, like, if I send 100 messages a day, will it hurt me? No. If I send 100 messages a day, will it help me? Yes. That's like a lot of business is just not being scared and then building the skills over time, right? Like you're going to suck for a really long time until you don't suck. Okay. Like a lot of people, they just want to be good day one, but it's not. Like you're going to suck and then you get better as you do it. So anyways, go ahead, Miguel, you had a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm on the organic part, messaging people. And you say to start on the warm leads first. So I messaged every like, follower, comment, share. But a while ago, I ran a Facebook ad, gathering leads, emails, and I have like around 40 emails that I'm not using right now. So I'm asking if what email should I write to them? I actually wrote an email before to schedule a call, but nobody did it. Like I got no calls from that.
On cold email?
Hmm.
Yeah, so
I
cold.
mean, I got the lead from a Facebook ad, so but it was a while ago, like 2 months ago. So they are they are cold now, I guess.
Yeah, so what I would have done is I would have like if they're that cold, I would have pushed them to like maybe your Facebook group, or I would have done like pushing them to a Facebook group or like a 15-minute call is easier. So like just lower the barrier. So like this email, for example, that I just wrote, this email that I just wrote is like I said, hey, reply back with your number and I'll call you. So what I would have done is like if you were like, hey, book a sales call, don't like that's the most aggressive thing you can ask for. Like take it a step back and like push to your group, or like, hey, like watch this training. Hey, I made this YouTube video, check this out. Whatever. Right. Or like, hey, you can even do a two-step where you're like, hey, reply back. I have a training on this. Reply back if you want it, I'll send it to you. So like it helps build good engagement in your CRM system. So more of the emails you send go to the primary inbox, like stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I might try to push them to the Facebook group that I have, and then inside the group I have a thing where when you introduce yourself, I have an ebook that I send to people, a free ebook. So I might just do that. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And then just be consistent. Like it's just being consistent. Like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like every single day, or like people aren't going to like reply every single day, but it's just being consistent too. Right. Like I've written an email, like guys, like I've written an email every single day for like 4 years. I've ran ads every single day besides a couple holidays for 4 years. Like I've worked every day for like I'm just an old dude in business. That's it. Like I'm a sage. I'm a magi, right? Like it's it. And then like I bet you as like I get in business 10 years and 20 years, I'm gonna make more money because I'm gonna get more and more skills. So just like be consistent. Like you don't get the response you want day one, it's okay. Like just keep doing it. You know what I mean? But a lot of you guys, like you guys think like, especially people who run ads, they're like, oh, I run ads, and like if they don't sign up, that's it. It's like, no, like there's retargeting, there's emails, there's many chat blasts, there's Facebook groups, there's you can send them YouTube videos, there's all kinds of stuff. And like all you guys all got here so many different ways. Like some people like, oh, I saw Tanner on a podcast 6 months ago, and then I saw his ad, and then I saw an email, and then I saw you like it's not just this like one-time touch. You got to be doing all kinds of things. So okay, good question, Miguel. Erica, yeah, what's up?
Hello. I was wondering for like an email list that's maybe like a little dead, or like you haven't done it in a while. Is there like a sequence, like you follow up with them, or you like send them out like the value a few times and then hit them with call to actions, or how do you like re-engage an email list?
Yeah, like so we'll set like I'd have to ask Sam. Sam does all our emails now. She does most of them, but like a lot of times we do like a mix between emails, book a call, come to our Facebook group, like a load ticket prop. We mix it up. But I would say like maybe do if you're trying to get a good mix, like do two emails where you have like a call to action, maybe join your group or like a set call, and then like your sales call is your most aggressive ask. So maybe like in a 3-day window or a 3 email window, you might be like, ask for a set call, then give some value. And you're like, hey, if you want more value like this, join my group or watch this YouTube video. And then that third one, like once a week, you're asking them to get on a sales call.
Okay.
Right? But you should have an ask in every email. You should always have an ask. That you should never send an email that's just like, yeah, like hope this was helpful. Just be like, hope this was helpful. Like if you found it helpful, I do more stuff like this in my Facebook group, or like, hey, here's a video I made that you can watch, or like, hey, here's a free course I made. Right? You want to mix it up. If you ask all the time, like, it'll drive some people off, but you definitely like, you want to ask more times than not. Like if you're going to send 3 emails, I'd probably have 2 asks. And one of them would be like, hey, reply back and I'll send you a training, or reply back and I'll call you. And then the other one would be like a sales call.
Okay, cool. And then how often do like people actually respond to the emails, or do they mostly just
if you ask them to, they'll respond. a lot. Like
Okay.
if you don't, you won't get as many, but if you're like reply back this, you should get quite a few responses, depending on your list size.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
the other thing, guys, is like if you have someone, you can set it up in your automations. All of you guys here have our done for you tech, right? So if you don't know how to do it, we can help you set it up where you just unsub people who haven't opened an email within 30 days or 60 days, and then you're not sending those same people emails. So it's always people who are like in that window. So you're not just sending it like someone an email that hasn't opened one in 9 months, right? So your engagement stays high, which is good for your CRM.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else have a question? Okay, cool. I don't know if someone's about Nico, you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I
Okay, go
don't know how to raise
ahead.
my hand.
Guys, if you have a question, raise your virtual hand. There's like a button. You can like virtually raise your hand. Go ahead, dude.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, super quick question. What's up, everybody? What's up, Tanner? So I find that when we get calls booked from email specifically, I always find that the quality is just way lower than when they come from a messaging conversation. Is that normal? And if so, like, is there anything that you would recommend?
Yeah, I mean, you would just maybe want to filter. So like I just said it earlier, like push them to a set call versus a sales call. Right. Or if you send it out, like make the application more stringent. So you only send out this application to your email list, and it could be like, do you have this amount of money to invest? Or like, do you have these qualities?
Oh,
You do something like
Yeah.
that. The other thing is like, Nico, you could probably do this. I wouldn't want the average client on here, but like you can also have them do an app and then schedule, or you could have them schedule and do an app. Sometimes splitting that up, you'll have higher quality because like extra step, more drop off, right? So sometimes the quality will be better. But I would just probably send a different app or be like, hey, reply back, call them and vet them. Because sometimes what happens is the people you disqualified, they're the ones who are replying back on your emails. And that's sometimes why the quality's worse.
oh,
That makes sense?
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, for example,
Yeah.
we get someone who comes in ManyChat, we do da-da-da, they don't have money, and then they start replying to all our emails and signing up from our emails, but it's like, we're like, hey, man,
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, so what I would do is just have a harder qualifying app that you send out to your list, or you could just push them to a set call. And then on the set call, you're like, hey, dude, so tell me about you. Oh, yeah, so like we had a call, but like I got canceled, and it was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, you just move through and you hang up and move on with your day. And then, you know, you can make a list. If you're the one doing those calls, make a list of those people. So if they keep replying, you're not constantly like talking to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right, Rachel.
Yes, I'm going to take advantage so I can ask you directly. You know where I'm at. I'm still doing the cold messaging and everything. And I want to know, where do I don't have any email list or anything like that. I don't have my Facebook group yet either.
Okay.
Where do you start?
Well, so you're still doing organic right now, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really need that quite yet. I mean, really, the email lists and stuff will start when you start running ads. So, but what you could do if you wanted, is if you wanted to go back to old leads, I mean, there's one of two ways. You can message someone on a cold DM and push them straight to a call, or you could message them, hey, here's my Facebook group. It's about this and this. And then when someone comes to your Facebook group, one of the questions you can ask is email, and you can actually scrape emails from that. There's different software. We use one called Group Track CRM, and it'll take those answers with their emails and it will pull it right into your email system if you set it up right. So we could help you with that, but it's not going to be as big a deal for you until you start running ads. So if you're just doing organic, I wouldn't even really worry about it, because I never even had an email list till I started running ads. And that's kind of the point, because cold leads, like, they need a lot of nurturing before. So that'd be my answer to you, is like, you probably don't have to worry about it right now, but it's like a long-term thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, when we're talking about, because you're talking about the apps and then they put the email in there. I'm not even sending out apps. Is that something that you would recommend to start collecting that?
Because you're doing organic. So organic's a little different than ads. So a lot of what I'm teaching on right now is more for when you start running your ads and you start collecting emails. So if you're not doing that right now, I'm glad you're here. Obviously, like, I love that you love to learn, but yeah, don't worry about that yet. Just focus in on what you're doing.
Okay. No, but I'm not just here to learn, but I like what you taught because I think that's even something I can put on a post because I'm doing posting,
Yeah, 100%. Like, and
right?
guys, like,
Something that gets their attention, and then do
Mhm.
like you said. I think that's
yeah,
a great idea.
and like, yeah, what I write in emails, I mean, you can definitely use it for Facebook posts. I mean, it's like it's the same thing. It's like sometimes I write a Facebook post and I put it in an email.
Mhm.
Like, you don't have to like get too crazy. So not
Yeah.
kill two birds with one stone.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else have a question, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So this will be in the group. Sorry, I was late. Puerto Rico doesn't have daylight savings, so first time I've experienced that in my life. So I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and my whole day has been completely off. But yeah, appreciate you guys. We got a bunch of lives that I got scheduled for the next like 3-4 weeks. I don't know if they're in there yet, but we'll have those. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you need the replay, it's in the group, and just feel free to watch it. Okay. Appreciate you guys. See ya.